Gillette Stadium for day 2 of Patriots padded practice. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar. Day 2, a lot more throwing today, you said, so we got to look at the wide receivers. NKeal Harry has a lot of expectation. There's a lot of riding on his shoulders in terms of the wide receivers group, and he put in a lot of work with the footwork king this offseason. From what you've seen so far, has it paid off?
Well, you definitely see a leaner NKeal Harry, a little bit more explosive, a little bit quicker feet, a little bit better at the line of scrimmage with his hand usage and being able to fight off coverage. I think you've seen incremental improvements, but the biggest problem that we haven't seen out here yet for NKeal Harry is that highlight, that eye-popping play, that big play that kind of puts him above the rest. And especially in the passing game, we haven't seen him create an explosive play over the top of the defense quite yet. But I will say that he hasn't been targeted a ton down the field either. So I think it's a little bit of both working together. His routes look crisper. He looks a little bit faster, but it hasn't quite translated into production in team drills, 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, and stuff like that. But hopefully those plays are coming.
What are you still looking to see out of Harry? Because we were expecting him to kind of stand out among this group, this training camp.
Yeah, I think the next step for me is at the top of the route. And he talked a little bit about that today, just the fact that he needs to be a little bit crisper at the top of the route, create a little bit more separation. I think what we're seeing is still technique issues, still footwork issues at the top, where he's stepping underneath his body and he's not gaining any ground out of his route break. So basically, he's taking his left foot, his inside foot, and he's stepping in the same place twice instead of creating ground or creating separation. He's going to wear coverage like that. So if you're going to try to separate on a quick hitter, on an underneath dig route, or on something over the middle of the field where you need that sort of quick twitch at the top of the route, NKeal Harry's footwork is really working against him right now. So that's the next step for him, I think. But you do see incremental improvements, and this does look like a little bit more of a refined receiver than we saw his rookie season.
Is there a major drop-off still from Julian Edelman to this second tier of wide receivers, or is that gap getting closed? Is Mohamed Sanu and NKeal Harry kind of locking themselves into these wide receiver 2 and 3 positions?
Well, I think there's still a pretty big gap between Julian Edelman and NKeal Harry. I would say it's Julian Edelman on his own tier, Mohamed Sanu in that middle tier, and then NKeal Harry in his own third tier, and then kind of everybody else, right? And I think that those three guys are definitely solidifying themselves as the top 3 receivers for the Patriots, but Edelman's still the best in show. I mean, he's definitely still the guy that creates the most separation, is the easiest guy to throw to for quarterbacks. But I do think that NKeal and Mohamed Sanu have shown us that all that offseason work, all that training, all those hype videos, maybe it's not going to lead to Pro Bowl production, all-pro production for those guys, but you do see improvements.
Well, we'll continue to have your New England Patriots training camp coverage on our website at clnsmedia.com and on our YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.
Patriots Training Camp Central is brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MAXWELL20 at manscaped.com. Take your grooming game to the next level.